Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in to another random day rough cut knife review, this time on the Kershaw Atmos, another very affordable folding knife from our friends at Kershaw. Saw these guys at SHOT Show and saw this knife in particular, was really impressed by it. It's one of the sleekest, one of the sexiest ones they had on the table that day, as I recall. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this knife was in the thumbnail for my SHOT Show Kershaw video. That's how impressed I was with it. Decided to pick one up for myself over at Blade HQ, and I guess the question is, am I still as impressed as I was when I saw it at the Kershaw booth at SHOT Show? So we'll get to that. We'll talk about whether I'm still that impressed and just in general my experience with it thus far. And I've had it for, I want to say 3 weeks or so, carried it on and off during that time, testing a handful of other knives simultaneously, obviously. But did some cutting with it, opened some packages, opened some boxes, did the stuff that people do with their knives, and overall, I'm pretty impressed. It's, you know, for the price, which is like 32 bucks, something like that. It's very affordable, Chinese made, flipper folder from Kershaw, and well designed, really sleek and really nice looking. Lightweight at 2 ounces, 3-inch blade on it, 4-inch handle on it. It's pretty impressive for the price, and that's my overall, I guess, impression of it. But there are a couple little, I guess, quirks that I found. Yeah, a few things I have to criticize, and I'll try to mention those as I go along throughout the video. But, you know, kind of get into the construction of it a little bit first. You can see the nice blade shape there. It's a very utilitarian blade shape. Good for all types of cutting, all types of utility work. Got a little swedge cut out there at the top, as you can see, across the spine. We've got a hollow ground blade on it, so nice slicer on it. Good fine point for nice piercing of packages, plastics, things like that. Good, like I said, utility knife, utilitarian knife, and just a good aesthetic design as well. Some jimping on the top of the spine right up here. Looks nice, feels good. You know, it's fairly fine, but it's effective for such a minimal, small knife. Let's see, we've also got a little bit of jimping there on the flipper, right there on the top of it. Makes it easy to sort of get a nice grip on that as you're flipping it out. How's the flipper action on it? Not too bad. As it is right now, I've got the pivot fairly tight, because if I don't have it tight, I notice some pretty good play in it, and I just don't feel confident in using the knife with that kind of play. So I went ahead and tightened it up. Easy to do, obviously, and it can loosen up over time. You'll want to back that up and put some Loctite in it if you really want to stop it from backing out. But yeah, with a tighter pivot, the deployment is okay. I feel like a little bit of stepping to it, and it's hard to sort of show that on screen, but I feel a little bit of stepping with those ball bearings. It is the KVT ball bearing pivot, which I love. You know, I love any kind of ball bearing pivot knife. They, generally speaking, are incredibly smooth, and they have super tight lockup. This one, like I said before, good lockup as long as you have it tightened, but it can get a little bit loose on you. So, so there's that. And again, a little bit of stepping to it. You can kind of feel that. I can anyway, as I'm moving it and opening it and closing it. So, not the best ball bearing pivot knife I've tried to date. Good though, and definitely better than something that would be using washers, or, you know, nylon washers specifically. Looking at the handle, we've got a G10 handle overall, and that's basically the entire handle, you know. So the frame on it is minimal. It's a little inset liner lock right there. Okay, you just barely see a little bit of that inside of there. Inset liner lock. This is all G10 on this side, so there's no steel in there, except we have carbon fiber there on the outside. And that's sort of like inlaid, it looks like. Kind of an inlaid carbon fiber. I think that's kind of added to it in the machining process to give kind of this relief to it, because it doesn't feel like it's going to peel out of there or anything like that. It's in there nice and solid. Then we've got this, what I believe is an FRN spacer right here, with some nice little molded in jimping. And then of course we've got a good little lanyard loop, which is pretty good, pretty well sized there. And the pocket clip on it is spectacular. Extremely deep carry, and I'll show you that in overlay footage. fits down in your pocket, basically disappears. So as long as black isn't going to stand out in your environment, whatever you happen to be wearing, if you're wearing dark pants, jeans, things like that, pocket clip won't stand out. You could always strip it if you feel like you want to wear this with khakis or something like that. But very gentlemanly, very small, very sleek, very good looking folder overall. So those are sort of the the good things I had to say about it. I guess the bad thing was the pivot. That's pretty much the bad thing I had to say about it. And I don't mind it that much. You can make it work. But overall, good folder, good in hand. It looks really good. Good price, $32. 8CR13 MOV steel, if I didn't say that already. Means that you can use this on a daily basis and get some good cutting done, but you want to resharpen it fairly regularly. Sinkovich design, gorgeous design. I think I've already said that. Aesthetically, it's gorgeous. I was super impressed with it from SHOT Show. And I still am. I'm still very impressed with it as far as looks are concerned. I think that you got to be realistic about what you're getting for the price. $32, you're not getting an outstanding folder. Okay, it's on the cheap side. You get a lot for it. I mean, the G10 and the carbon fiber is pretty cool, and that's probably why the 32 versus 25 or so. But it's still not. You're not going to get something in the same range as some of the ZT folders are, as far as quality and as far as materials, as far as workmanship and all that other stuff. But I think it's still enough to really enjoy. And so if you're looking for something that is going to be a daily folder that you'll be able to, you'll have time to sharpen fairly regularly, and that you just want something that's super light at 2 ounces, that looks really good in pocket and out, this is going to be the one for you. A quick comparison, we're going to look at the Sinkovich designed Atmos here in comparison to the Ken Onion designed Kershaw Leak. And you can see that as far as utility is concerned, they're going to be very similar in what they can accomplish. That Leak has got that extremely fine needle point on it, which I love. And the Atmos is, pretty close. Pretty close. Good utility to it. One last, let's see, I guess we'd talk about the pivot construction ever so briefly. We can see that instead of having a clearly open stop bar on there, the stop bar is kind of nested behind the tang of the blade. So it kind of creates this little shark fin right there, and that locks into that stop bar right there. So they did a good job with the engineering there in creating something that is effective, but also really aesthetically pleasing and ergonomically good too. Overall, great design. Be realistic about what you're getting for the price, and you'll love it. You will absolutely love it. And that's my review of the Kershaw Atmos. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you later.